How are you set up to handle your referrals? Today on the Landlord Coach Daily-ish Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Landlord Coach Daily-ish Show. My name is Mark Dolfini, your host and Landlord Coach. It's really good to see you. So this show, what is it about? It's about those of you who are rental housing providers and maybe just even business owners or managers who pretty much run your own deal. This is for you. This is all shows based on you and different tips and things that we can all make our lives a little bit better so we can actually live our visions and do the things that we're most basically sent here to do, right? Making sure that we're not focusing on income generation as much as we're focused on life output. So obviously it takes money to do that, and the least amount of time that we can spend doing our jobs is really what we're about here. So yes, this is a landlord focused show, but it's not just about that. There's other people who watch this show who are small business owners, and we want to help them out as well. And generally, it's not often that I don't hear small business owners trying to dabble in real estate as a store of wealth. So the idea is you don't want that to be a income. You want that to be a source of income, not a source of time weariness or time bankruptcy, which is unfortunately that's what ends up happening. So today we're going to be talking about networking, and but before we get into that, I want to just give you an opportunity. If you want to get a copy of I do this the wrong way every single time, the Time Wealthy Investor 2.0, you can head over to landlordcoach.com/videos, and you can get a copy of that for free. All I just ask you to do is cover shipping, and it will be covered for you. So I'll sign it, send it out, and you can have it in just a couple of days. So go to landlordcoach.com/videos. There's also some free downloads and stuff in there too, if you would like that. Especially one, there is making sure that you don't spend more on a property than you should be buying it for. So making sure you're doing the cash flow analysis properly, and that of course is a very important consideration. And the sad thing is I still see a lot of people who are seasoned investors still paying too much for properties, especially right now. So anyway, that's included. You can go in there and get your free download. So today what are we talking about? We are talking about how are you set up to handle your referrals. So I have studied this topic at great length, and for those of you who know me locally and even nationally, I was involved in BNI, which is the Business Network International. It's actually, I think they don't even call it that anymore. I think they just now call it BNI. But lots of really good networking people who taught me great ways to network and networking mistakes to avoid and things like that. Plus, I've read tons and tons and tons of books. I've got a stack of books right here that I was referencing. I was just actually going through this. So, this is a great book, Room Full of Referrals. And this is, now I've not read every single one. Many of these are co-authored by Ivan Misner, who endorsed the Time Wealthy Investor 2.0. So it's really interesting. It's really cool to be able to name drop like that, because Ivan is just such a truly giving individual. But Masters of Success is another book that he co-authored. Masters of Sales, that's another one. Business by Referral, I think this was actually it might have been his first book. I didn't actually read this one, but many of the others I have. How to Become a Rainmaker. This one's by Jeffrey Fox. This one's a really good book as well. This one, Who's in Your Room? I love this book. This is the concept of this book is really about think about if your life was a room with one door that only swings in one direction. So the people that come in, they're in your room forever, and it's actually a really neat idea, because if you have someone that comes into your life, they impact your life, they impact your DNA and make you think differently. It pretty much impact your life, and some people can impact your life for a lifetime. And that's really interesting. So if that was the case, and you're in that room, you only had one door and the door only opened in, so that person's in your life forever, would you be a little bit more careful about who you let in your room? So it's kind of the concept of this book. Really, really neat book. Really enjoyed that. This one's by Brian Buffini, worked by Referral. I have not read this yet, so I'm actually interested in reading this one. This one's on the stack of guilt that I I have to add. This one's actually Giver's Gain. I'm just going to hit these. I'm going to go through these real quick. That's actually a book. If you are a BNI member, you've gotten that one. 29% solution, really, really good. Networking Like a Pro. This one's by also co-authored by Ivan Meisner. I promise I'm getting to the end here, but you're getting my point. This is a lot of stuff on networking, avoiding the networking disconnect. Ivan Meisner, and by my late friend Brendan Scanlon, who is a amazing dude. In fact, he was, just to show you the power of networking. This is what's really interesting about that is when. When I was first publishing my first book, Brandon had already published his, and I will never forget these words that he said to me. When you get ready to publish your book, he goes, "I want you to call me," and then he stopped and he said, "No, I insist that you call me because I want to walk you through in terms of how to get this set up in terms of publishing." And I was like, wow. He said it so intentionally and so deliberately, it stopped me in my tracks. And I never forgot that. I never forgot that he took that time to spend with me. And he was on the phone with me for damn near an hour, walked me through every step of it. So I never forgot that. He passed away a few years ago, but I always remember that. Brandon's a great dude. And these last two books are by my good friend Travis Sims. This is Networking in the New Normal. He had published this not that long ago. It was I'm just trying to think if this was his first book. Yeah, The Networking in the New Normal, I think, is his first book, and then he recently just published his second book, also by Travis Sims, The Magic of Networking, and he hit Amazon bestseller both times. So he's quite a dude. But one of the interesting things about networking, to kind of get to the point of all the stack of books here, I don't even know how many is here, it's a dozen or so books. But the fundamental thing about all these books is, what's really interesting is that there's one universal truth that of all the ones that I have read, and I haven't read them all, but I'm getting there. But the one universal truth that I have pulled out of all of those and all the networking activities that I've been involved in is that there is kind of one universal truth. There's probably more, but at least this one is absolutely true. And and this is something that my friend Travis Sims had said, so I'm gonna give him the credit for saying it, although I think he might have gotten it from someone else. But the truth about networking is your network is always working. The important thing is it working for you or is it working against you? And this is why it's an important thing, because you have to consider if someone is giving you a referral, if someone thinks highly enough of you to send someone else your way, how are you handling that referral? Should that referral be handled differently than other forms of business? The one side of me who is all about setting up systems and doing it consistently and doing things, making sure that every person that comes into the funnel is handled, a certain way. That one side of me says, yeah, it shouldn't matter how people come into your funnel, your sales funnel, whether that's through networking or through your organic reach or, your own marketing or whatever, that they should all be handled consistently. I do agree with that to a certain extent. But on the other side, I'm thinking, if someone thinks highly enough of you to send another individual your way, how are you handling that individual? Because again, that person thought highly enough of you to send someone your way. They're putting their own reputation on the line to send them your way. And if you don't take good care of them, then how is that? How are you making sure? What's the default if they aren't handled properly, right? So you really need to make sure that your systems are on lock. So I guess the answer is make sure your systems are on lock before you really even start asking for referrals. If you don't have a consistent way, and again, we talk about this all the time, no matter what business that you're in, like whether it's real estate or razor blades, you've got to aim for consistency. Consistency in your business has to be one of those things that you're shooting for all the time. So if you're not being consistent in terms of handling your leads, right, are you ready for referrals? Well, you might not be. Now you're thinking, well, I'm in a business that, I just kind of get my stuff organically. Yeah, but I'm telling you what, once you become known in that space for whatever it is, whether it's landlord coach, or for buying properties, or for being an internet marketer, or having a marketing firm, or having a cleaning business, or being a painter, or whatever mental real estate that you occupy of your audience, that whatever that is, you need to make sure that your 4 basic business functions are unlocked, meaning your marketing's unlocked, your sales, your closing, right? You're able to close them on, that make sure that that's unlocked, your operations is unlocked, and your accounting function. Those 4 basic functions, there's no getting around them. You have to make sure that those are dialed in, because if they're not dialed in, there's just too many unknowns, especially from the referral side, which is what we're talking about today. But especially from the referral side, if you've got people that are coming in and you're not able to consistently handle the leads, that's going to be a problem. If you've got people coming in and you're handling the leads consistently, fine. But if you're not able to get a salesperson in front of them, or if you're not able to close them consistently or timely, that's going to be a problem. What if you did the first 2 things really, 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 really well, where you had you've got your lead funnel dialed in, you've got your sales process dialed in, but operationally you're a barn fire? That's not going to work either, right? And then finally, you might think, well, who cares about the accounting function? Well, do you care about getting paid? I mean, ideally, you don't want to necessarily run a charity. So if you're not billing your people out timely, if you're not sending your invoices out, or you're not collecting the money that's coming in, you're not handling the banking, you're not handling the reconciliations, you don't even know if you're profitable, then you're not going to be in business for very long anyway. So those 4 critical business functions have to run. I don't care if you're an attorney, and the irony is there's a lot of attorneys I know there's a couple of attorneys who watch this show, and they struggle, not because they're bad attorneys. In fact, they're really good attorneys. But from a business perspective, there's times I've had to call them and say, hey, man, you're going to send me a bill? Right? And I work with multiple attorneys for multiple different things. But sometimes it's like they forget, or they just get busy because they're busy doing law. They're doing the operational piece, but they're not doing the other side. And, from my inner circle coaching clients, many of them, some of them don't have any real estate holdings, and they don't really have any interest in doing real estate holdings. But they're struggling. They're struggling in one or more of those areas. So we got to get those things organized. We got to get those things to where the marketing piece is good, the sales piece is good, the operations piece is good, and then the accounting piece is good. Are there more functions of business? Of course there are. But I'm just saying those 4 critical ones, they have to be done, and they have to be done consistently. And ideally they're done the same way every single time that someone goes in and out of that funnel. So that's all I have. So how are you set up to handle your referrals? Well, I would suggest make sure that your marketing and lead gen arm is on lock. Make sure that your sales function is on lock. Don't ask for referrals until you're ready for them, because the last thing in the world that you want is your network to be working against you. So that is all I have for today. It's been a quiet day from you guys. I think it's because it's too nice outside. So I'm going to give a quick plug to the Landlord VIP Lounge. If you are interested in joining a community like this, it's a group that we're going to be talking about these very topics about making sure that you're offering, you have those consistency, those pieces of your infrastructure and process. Make sure that those pieces of consistent pieces of infrastructure and process are in place, so you can make sure that your clients are having a consistent experience every single time. So you can go to the Landlord VIP Lounge if you are watching this on Facebook. I've got the link posted below. But again, if you want to get a copy of the good God, I keep saying that the wrong way. You have the Time Wealthy Investor 2.0, which is right here. Right? Then just head on over to the landlordcoach.com/videos, and you can get your copy for free, plus a couple of other downloads and whatever else is in there that is helpful for you. So that is all I have for today. It's Friday. I'm telling you, I'm so excited for the weekend. My bride and I are going kayaking tomorrow for the first time this year. I got her a kayak, and we've never done it together just by ourselves. We've always gone in groups. And the last time I went kayaking was November of last year. It was the day after my birthday. Saw a couple eagles. It was just literally the best day. ever. Like, I go back to that day in my mind all the time just because it was such an amazing, awesome day. All the trees were just on, like, they were on fire, just the reds and oranges. It was just a beautiful fall day. Weather was like in the mid 70s, and came around one turn, one bend in the river, and there was an eagle standing there in the water, like a bald eagle standing there in the water. That was pretty cool. So I don't know if we're going to have that experience tomorrow, but it was, anyway, that's, if nothing else, we get to spend some time with each other. But, well, that's all I have for today, everybody. Please be sure to place a value in your free time, because if you don't, someone else will. But most important, there is no amount of money that will make time irrelevant. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys next week. Take care.